Like they think, yeah, I'm just 20.
Hmm.
For me, it's like I'm 20.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Gary Vee preaches this so much. You're fucking 23. You have the entire life. Honestly, you do. But at the same time, when you hang out with people like these, Subah and all, you feel you're not doing enough.
Bro, I feel like I'm not doing enough too.
Have you
Right?
met people younger than you who are like killing it even more than you guys?
I don't know, but I try to. Recently, there's this really interesting 15-year-old
Mm-hmm.
who keeps reaching out, and his email is actually good.
From India?
Yeah, and it sounds like he knows what he's doing. He's worked with like a big name or two. 15 years old, man.
Mm.
He's trying to raise for his startup.
What
He
were you
sent
doing
me
when
his
you were
pitch deck
15?
and things. I was making Shopify websites.
Fuck, you're still doing something.
Yeah, but I was also gaming for like 8 hours a day.
But you're doing something, right? I was studying
Oh, you
for
doing when you were
ITC.
15?
I was
You're studying, right?
Yeah, I was studying.
That's normal.
I was just studying, right?
So that's fine, no?
It is, but everyone studies when they're 15.
No.
Who doesn't? You wouldn't?
People fuck around quite a bit.
People do, but
I think that's when fucking around starts, right?
yeah, pretty much your later teenage part, mid-teenage part.
Yeah. I skipped that. Didn't have
Mm.
that.
You did work. You worked.
Yeah, I had to. Right?
Didn't have an option though.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
But I guess that's one thing you've noticed, that we operate, I guess, with a sense of urgency
Correct.
a bit more. Do you think staying with your parents slows you down in any way?
100%.
Because
It
that
does.
happens for me.
It does. That was the only reason I came to Bangalore, shifted to Bangalore,
Yeah.
apart from two other reasons. But once I realized I need that homely space again, I'm craving for that. I decided to go for a couple of months out there. It has slowed me down already. It has been a month, so probably I'll stay there for another month and then again move back to Kolkata. So it
Back
does
to
slow you down a
Kolkata.
lot, yeah.
Why Kolkata? Because
Because
I hate that place.
I love
The-
Kolkata. I'm gonna defend my city till my last breath.
Definitely do. I would also
Yeah.
do the same, right?
To Mumbai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Mumbai is my city, but to be honest, I don't really care that
Yeah.
much. But
But I'll tell you, for Kolkata, I've realized one thing. Again, I shifted to Bangalore because I got way too comfortable in Kolkata. I wanted to chase.
why will this comfort not happen again? You know?
I'll tell you why that comfort is necessary. Because if you are still growing in your comfort, why are you getting out of there? Because you know you're still growing. Cool, you might grow at a better pace, but I came to Bangalore, I realized it slowed me down than I was in Kolkata. Because I told you yesterday, momentum is very important for me. A predictable lifestyle is very important for me, which gives me momentum. So in Kolkata, I have my house. There's no one to disturb. I have it entirely to myself. I have my set of friends, the boys gang, who keep me mentally stable. And I have pretty much access to everything. I know that city, how predictable it is. And most of the work which I do, it doesn't essentially involve me stepping out of my house. So the opportunities which I would get from staying anywhere, I still keep getting them in Kolkata. Because I don't do stuff like offline production or something like that, which I used to do back in the day. And if you're doing something like that and you are in Kolkata, the city pays you half of what Mumbai or Bangalore would pay you for same kind of services. So that is not my forte as of now. Mostly all of the work which I do, that comes in online, and I can pull that off in Kolkata as well. It doesn't slow me down by any
At the
chance.
same time, you can pull it off anywhere.
I can, but I love the comfort there. I love the predictable lifestyle. I love the slow lifestyle out there. So I would rather go back there again than try to shift anywhere else. And as I told you, I'm preparing for my MBA next
I
year
know.
too.
Yeah.
So
We'll get to that.
I'll probably not go to a new city and choose a new place and spend a couple of days or a couple of weeks maybe settling in there and then again restarting. Those just waste my time.
Makes sense.
So that's why I would again shift back from my parents' place to Kolkata.
Around the boys' gang.
Yeah,
And that keeps your mental health in check.
100%.
Right. What do you do?
We just
What does the boys' gang do? Because I have missed this part of life in a way because I never went to college, right?
These are not my college friends at all, bro.
Even if they're not college friends, even the friends I had in Mumbai, it started like I don't have friends, right?
Never related with them?
No, dude, we started becoming two different worlds because my friends were the type who were like a bit rich, a bit spoiled, just like me, right? At that time, we get along. Now, as soon as a few things were out of the equation, like now I can't spend money. My parents don't have money suddenly, right? So then I can't act spoiled. I don't have those luxuries anymore. And they don't understand that. So I grew up in a very like spoiled environment, I would say. And my friends were also spoiled. So and then once things moved away from there, I never really got into the other side of like the other friend group either, which was like, you know, more off the streets type friend group. And you guys do everything, the crazy stuff. I didn't have that either because I belonged to nowhere in a way. That's how I felt.
But I feel for me, having that one core friend circle where you can go back.
I would love that, but
means
never had it.
It's like you can be emotionally naked in front of a set of 5 people. Imagine how beautiful that is. Where these 5 people are not judging you. We do so much banter. We are racist to each other, and
I'm racist.
Like, you can go to any extremes where we call out each other names, and if anybody is shitting on someone or shitting in their own lives, we call that guy out. And it's just very pure. It's so pure, I can't put it down into words. It keeps you mentally stable in such an extent. For example, I am craving that boys' night right now once again. So I know that I can reset my life again when I meet them. It's very peaceful. Like, even if I get to spend 2 to 3 hours in just a week and just dump everything, whatever is going around in my mind. And the thing with people is they start giving you advices or solutions when you tell your problems to them. Sometimes you just need people to, कोई नहीं भाई, हो जाएगा साथ में, मेरे भी लगे पड़े, निकाल देंगे अपन. That's all what you want to listen. You don't want to listen to तू ऐसा करके navigate कर, chill कर. मैंने सोचा है, मेरे दिमाग में वो चीजें आई है, but मैं overthink कर रहा हूँ, तो तू बस अभी सुन ले वो वाली चीज. So that rhythm, that spectrum matches with me to them. So that's maybe the reason I just love hanging out with these people.
That makes sense.
And that's a very small group. We are like, what, total of 5 to 6 people with a WhatsApp group name so legendary we can't rechange it again, and no one would, it would not make sense to anyone.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of friendship we have.
Yeah. How would one go to build that?
You need to be fortunate, lucky, and in the right place at the right time. Like, this group assembled out of nowhere. One guy is my childhood friend. One guy, I started editing and like making content with one of these guys.
Has content helped you make friends?
It has helped me make acquaintances and a couple of really good friends whom I would go on calling friends, not acquaintances. So it has. Good. It has. And yeah, you just be yourself and see which set of people truly accept you, and you can accept them as well. Your frequency matches. And again, as I said, you can be emotionally naked in front of them without them judging you or you judging them. Yeah. That's when you know you're the right fit for each other, who can probably go on supporting.
I get that. I just never had that. So.
I feel sorry for you, but that's a totally different experience altogether.
I'm sure it must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you get a group.
No, it's fine.
If you need.
I don't feel alone though. That's the thing. Like, I'm constantly surrounded by what's next, you know. So that way I'm totally fine. Coming to MBA.
Yeah.
You have content. You're creating enough. You have sponsors, etc. You're working on, your income is divided into 3 streams, right? You mentioned last time.
2 mostly.
2 mostly. I guess there was a third, but 2 mostly. So MBA.
Yeah, you can call 3. See, one is content, brands and sponsors. Yeah. Second is the post-production part, which we take care of for some brands. And third is the video editing and storytelling cohort, which we run.
How do you want to grow from here?
From here in terms of this line as a person, or academically in the MBA sense of it, or in general you want to understand?
In 1 year or in 2 years, what would you consider that, okay, I've done these things, so now I've made progress in life? Because I think a lot of meaning from life is derived from the progress you're making. What is the progress you want to make, and how do you plan to do that?
So again, here I would answer it in 3 legs. I see life in 3 parts. One is, am I growing mentally? Right. Second is, I have a set of things which I wanted to do, say bucket list. So how much of that am I fulfilling?
I like that one. I have that bucket list as well. I love it.
So how much of that I'm fulfilling? It might be a 10-20%, but still, that's progress for me. Third part is financially, because I'm 23, need to make money, have some big goals. So that's most of it. And if I'm making progress, like even 50% of it I'm checking off in the next couple of years of what I have planned till now, because the list is never ending. It'll keep coming every night, new things to me. So that's something which I would call, progress ho raha hai, badhiya chal rahi hai life.
What does that bucket list entail? I would love to know.
So I won't talk about all of them though, but
yeah, because it's like, you know, some of them are like secret, or like I want to do it and then tell others maybe. But what would you?
I'll tell you 2 of them, right? So one is really, really, really huge for me. You have pulled it off, by the way, which is taking my family to the US.
Have you been ever?
I haven't.
Okay.
Neither has my family been, but my mother talks a lot about it.
All mothers do, especially there's Bengali mothers.
I don't know why, and she has been very
Bengali. I think it's everyone, but especially Bengali mothers.
So like one of the
idolize.
My mother wants me to do an MBA, that too from abroad, is so that she gets a reason to visit abroad, right? But I don't want just that to be the only reason.
Exactly.
So I want to take them, like, have the most luxurious experiences in life which they can recall, right? So that is one thing which I want to do. And second is, see, ever since my childhood, I grew watching these creators on YouTube like Sam Colder, Peter McKinnon, who used to make like awesome travel films. So I want to produce 2 to 3 travel films in the next 2 to 3 years of different places, which I would look back and be like, I'm proud. If you ask me today, are you proud of any video which you have made personally? I would say no.
Really?
I'm not at all.
None.
Because the kind of execution ideas which I have in my mind, very honestly, keeping my hand on my heart, I have not been able to pull off even 50% of what I can imagine I can do. So if I produce those 2 to 3 videos which I look back and say I'm proud of, I would say I've made decent progress. So these are the 2 aspects of life I want
What do you envision
in terms of
your videos then? What do you see?
If I see 100 people trying to recreate the way videos which I make, I'll say I've made it till some extent. Because you see the influence. Like Sam Colder hasn't uploaded a video since what, 1 or 2 years? But still I'm talking about him. I'm pretty sure at this point of time there's another podcast going on where another person is talking about cold. So if I can leave that kind of impact even in India, be it not the rest of the world, that's a bit of progress for me, I would believe.
Do you think you've not inspired any creators in India?
I might have. I've seen a couple of people trying to replicate what I call my style, although I have not developed my style. But still, there's a long way to go, I feel. I can't be complacent with just inspiring a couple of people. I have my Instagram ka bio written. I want to inspire an entire generation to chase excellence.
You also said that you want to create these 2 or 3 travel films in 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years, yeah.
Why not shorten that?
It's in my mind though, again, that it does take a lot of time. But considering the other side quests of my life or the main quest of my life, for example, this MBA, which I would have very honestly been in college for 4 years, know how MBA is and know how the pressure is, it would be hard for me to pull off. But again, 2 to 3 years is a rough time span which I have given to myself. I feel it should be able to done. I think it might be able to pull off in the next 1.5 years, if the earliest. But it would take time.
One thing I've learned, right, even with launching IW, is just shorten the fucking timeline.
Work expands.
Yes,
time expands.
Literally, bro. You know, you could do this next month, your first travel film. Because you asked me a lot about Vietnam, right?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going, everything's set up. Imagine, right, hypothetically, you could just come, already have a crew. Your first travel film is done. Could be done in a month because your MBA hasn't even started.
No, it's gonna take time. Next year, bro.
I get it. But again, my argument is like, it can be done tomorrow.
It's pretty fair.
It won't be done tomorrow, but that's how you got to think.
That's how you can start tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll take that back home.
That's just I'm no one to give you advice, but
no,
if I had to, it's just fucking speed it up. But please continue. So travel films, or like make bang-in videos, taking your parents to the US. Anything else?
These 2 are the major. Remaining, I would not like to talk about, very honestly.
Fair. Anything personal, like in terms of, these are like goals, right? Anything fun on that bucket list you really want to try?
I want to learn skiing, surfing, and a couple of more adventure sports. And then yesterday I asked you about MMA as well. I want to have new experiences in life in general. That's something which everyone chases.
100%.
But again, that's something which I would love to do even more. Because I'll tell you why. When I went to college in 2022 for the very first time offline, ever since I got into college, I wanted to learn music and dance. But I never ended up doing either of them. I wanted to learn boxing itself from the very first year of my college. But it was COVID and we shifted places. I never knew anyone. And when I went to college, so see, when you have been brought up by people tagging you as the smart kid, you try to mold your identity around the word being smart.
Yeah.
And if you're smart, in your head, you can't fail. Right?
Yeah.
If you can't fail, you would avoid trying new experiences because you might not be good at that. And your identity won't do, and your experience won't do justice to the identity you have made of yourself from your childhood.
Well said.
So I have had a very tough time letting go of that identity of mine ki main chutiya hoon.
That was your identity?
My identity was I'm smart.
Yeah.
But I had to let go of that completely.
Right.
I am a 20-year-old bastard who doesn't know anything about life. I am allowed to make mistakes.
Yes.
So that has what stopped me in college from chasing new experiences in which I might have failed. Because fear of failure started when I again got my entire identity around. I have made it till some point, maybe 100k subscribers, maybe getting into a good college. And after so many wins, if you face one loss, your identity wouldn't be able to take it. So personally, I've had a very hard time letting go of that. But now I can proudly say on camera, I have let go of that and chase new experiences as much as possible. If I fail, no matter.
What is your identity now?
I'm just living life at 23. That's all. Chasing new experiences, living life. Who am I?
Yeah, like
you want to get into that?
Sure. Like, what do you think of yourself? If you had to give a one line, who are you? What would you try? What would that one line be? And you can flip this on me, and I'll probably not know what to say either.
I know. I know that's very hard to put into words actually, because I would be changing my identity every 6 months, 10 months. But there are a few principles which you live your life by, which you know are non-negotiables for yourself. So maybe you establish your identity around that for some time. If that is the way I have to answer this question, then it would be again very generic. But cool, this might come out as very generic. Be kind to people. Be as empathetic as possible. Try to think about people by putting yourself in their shoes and navigate through life. Be kind, but don't be way too nice in life. That's how I...
Don't conform too much?
No, never. Never. That's how I would explain who am I as of now.
Yeah.
As of now. How about you?
I really don't care about people. I lack empathy, which is something I've recently realized. And it's not a good thing, perhaps, right?
What made you realize that, by the way?
That's really personal. But
never mind.
I had an event in the sense like something happened for someone who's relatively like close, and I didn't feel much. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, anyone would feel so much for this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, bro. Like, and then I was questioning myself. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
How long has it been?
Few weeks.
Okay.
And it was like, what? How do I not feel bad? So I'm questioning a lot of things around that. But I think if I had to dive deeper, and this is not answering your question, this is just a little detour here. But I think this happened from no one feeling bad for me. Right? Like, I first of all, like, when I say I don't have family, extended family, I actually have some, right? But they are pretty much non-existent. Because at those moments in my life where, you know, we needed help or something, right? Because the runway was 4 or 5 months maybe. At that time, there was no one. It's just me, right? So then, if no one felt bad for me, I kind of lost all empathy for other humans, I feel like. Because then it was just me. I had to pick myself up. So if I could pick myself up, anyone can, right? Even that's why, like, even tinier things like wasting food that a normal person would feel bad about, right? Like, oh, someone else could eat. Yeah, well, then they can eat, right?
Yeah.
Someone can eat. Where it's coming go fucking eat. Who's gonna, like, what? Me saving my food is gonna help you eat? No, I'll waste it if I don't want to eat it. So there've been a few changes, like recently, last 3-4 months around empathy, I think. And I don't know if I like it or not. And I don't know, in maybe 1 year, I'll probably be looking back at this and slapping myself. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Save food. I save food. I don't waste food. But at the same time, if, 3 pieces of pasta is left, I'll be like, it's fine. I'm not going to overeat. Sunken cost fallacy, right? But how would I describe myself?
What are your principles which you live by?
I try to live like a robot in a way, because the two things I think which you might find interesting. I set objectives. Here's what I have to do, and just obsess over them. Like, example being 83 km/h. This year we thought we wanted to hit 83 km/h. January, May, when you set New Year's resolutions, right? I didn't set New Year resolutions for me this time. I only set it for my business. Chalo, we want to hit 83 km/h. Obsess. That's it. That is it. That was the goal. And then RW, right? Second part. I need to get to 200k subs. That is my goal. Obsessing over it. Spending whatever I need to be able to do that.
How do you chase or achieve this level of clarity about what you want to do at 20? That's very inspiring at a point of time, I would say, because when you have so many options around you on how you want to live your life with, I won't term it as distractions, but again, ways to lead your life. How can you be so hyper focused that cool, this is what I have to do? Because people don't get their purpose. What's your purpose of life? Is it this?
It is to
Even as of now, not even in long term.
Purpose of life, is to meet my objectives.
Yeah, so it circles back to that.
Yeah, it circles back to this is what I need to do to move forward in life. And everyone wants to move forward in life.
Absolutely.
Right? I think it's just what we define as moving forward. For you, it is one of the things like controlling your emotions and your mind. That is one of the things where you will feel like you're moving forward. So you will take whatever you need to do in order to achieve that mental clarity and peace in a way.
Correct.
For me, it is just objectives, like a robot. That's why I called it robot earlier, because I write down, this is what I need to do. That's it.
You run after that.
Yeah.
But like, tell me, how do you come to these conclusions? Okay, I want to do this as a 20-year-old. Imagine your surrounding at this point of time, if you were leading a normal life, would be kids who just gave their entrance exams or class 12th exams, probably gotten into first or second year of college, and they're exploring tons of other things. But you are blindfolded like a horse towards only one particular objective. How can a 20-year-old in India reach that state where you are right now?
This is becoming my podcast.
No, but I really want to know, because I didn't have this clarity. I'll tell you what I was doing when I was 20. My YouTube started picking up. I got to 100k subs. Still didn't have clarity. Do I want to continue this? So I bought a UI UX designing course from a random school in India and started doing that. But then I left it midway because I lost interest. Then I started taking my acad seriously because my college was about to open, and I just had so many avenues open in front of me, and I was not able to double down on, ठीक है मेरे को ये चीज करनी है and इसको मुझे अभी के लिए pause करना है. How do you come to this level of perfection? Or if you want to answer in terms of decision making, because I still struggle with that. Why not help me with that?
I feel like I have really good people as well, right? Who can help shape what we need to do. And the reason I guess I'm not distracted is because I have these partners in a way. There's Arthur and there's Vihan. These both, like, I know that we all have a responsibility towards each other to accomplish certain goals. So, example, right now, if I go and I try to do something else, like let's say I launch a t-shirt brand, right? Arthur and Vihan would be like, bro, are you fucking stupid? We have this thing right in front of us. This is the best opportunity. We scale this. Right now, we're at as of today morning, we're at 77k. We got the second contract signed today.
Awesome.
So, we're one away from 83, right? Which was the goal. And then it's like, why will I be doing anything else apart from pushing on this one thing? And how did I find this one thing? I would call it a series of actions or events that happened that led to this one thing. And I feel like it will happen even for you. Out of your 3 sources of income, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you focus on 2, which is, let's say, content. You hammer down on content so much that your third income stream, which is the cohorts, right? The editing cohorts, it has no option but to follow your content. If you're doing well on one, number 3 is going to pick up and follow. And then you'll have that clarity. At that point, are you going to be taking up more editing projects? No. You'll help others get more editing projects, right?
Okay, fair enough. Makes sense.
Think about leverage as well. What can you do to move Earth the most? Is it helping one-on-one editing? Or is it helping...
one to many.
Yeah, in a way. And content is the most distributed thing ever, right? Content is the distribution.
Makes sense. And do you have any frameworks when you're making a decision on maybe 2 or 3 choices for that sake? Because everybody is confused right now. I'm not putting this question just for myself. Obviously, I am for selfish reasons. Absolutely. But there are people as well who are listening to this and confused in 5-10 different things. One thing which you said, you have the right set of people around you which can maybe get you to fucking do this, don't get into this, are you out of your mind or something?
Yeah.
Right. But for people who don't have those people around them, they have to take a decision by themselves or by watching 10 YouTube videos and gathering 10 different perspectives, which confuses them even more.
I think community and guidance comes into this, right? Because technically, what are those 2 people for me? They are my community, or they're my mentors, or my, I don't know, peers even now, right? But if, let's say, someone in your editing cohort was like, Akash, how do I get my first editing client? Won't you give them 1 or maybe 3 methods of, here's how, don't, sab bakwas ko mat sun, bas ye 3 cheeze kar, and that's all you should do, right? Then technically you'd be holding them accountable. So in a way, perhaps by finding community, or perhaps by finding someone who has done what you have done, and not even done what you've done, but just one step ahead you, right? They can tell you, bruv, I've tried all that. That's useless. Focus on this one thing. And if you don't do that one thing, which inevitably most people aren't going to do the one thing, they're going to try the three things and fail anyway. And one of the biggest superpowers is to listen to people, even if it's against your gut. Listen to people who have more experience. Eat up your emotions. Like you think it's going to work. You're stupid. Just listen to that guy who's already done it. And blindly do or listen to someone sometimes who is done, who's one step ahead you. Because you'd save so much time. Getting back onto the guest here, Akash. What has content creation done for you broadly?
What is content creation?
Because I know you want to inspire a generation of people, even to document their own things, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Majorly to document their lives as well. But what it has done for me personally, it has unlocked doors for me, unlocked access for me to those people whom I once looked up to. They say never meet your heroes, but I would say meet your heroes, bro. They are fucking inspiring. It has done that for me, and it has got me a lot of confidence, I would say.
Who has inspired you?
Bro, there's one guy from India, Paritosh Anand, whose videos, again, in 2017-18, if you would find a 17-year-old making crazy storytelling videos in India, that would be that guy, ahead of its time. So, today I'm fortunate enough to call that guy as my elder brother. So, as you told, have you made friends from content? Bro, I've made a fucking elder brother from content. So, that's something which it has unlocked. And then access to rooms again with people who are high leverage people. And lastly, as a 20-year-old, getting to experience whatever I have throughout. Like I've documented everything. Meeting someone whom I looked up to or visiting places I just once imagined. It has helped me with that. With self-confidence as well, that I'm doing something in life. Again, there was a huge identity crisis. I am just again another part of the crowd. But when things started working out, you kind of start to navigate a bit differently from the crowd, the way you think. So that is something, mindset again, which content has helped me. Even if things are not working out, keep doing iterations with changes which you can absorb from the content which is not working out or working out. So that is one mindset which has developed over.
How does one start today?
Making videos?
Yeah.
But I would say get good at one thing and then start making videos. Don't just make videos for the sake of making
Get
videos.
good at what?
Anything, whatever your interest is, bro. Content at the end of the day is amplifying one of your interests, I feel. Right?
Should content be a permanent secondary?
In terms of you, like a side quest?
No, so is content just supposed to be a thing by the side of you at all times?
It depends, bro, how you live life. Because I see a lot of people who don't like to have a camera with them 24/7, who just don't like to talk on the camera, who just don't innately have it within them. I want to make content.
Isn't it a sacrifice?
It is though, because it's high leverage in today's world. But if you're not comfortable in making, if you don't want to, if you're happy in your life, bro, be happy.
I disagree. I hate happiness.
Let's debate on this.
Why be happy?
Why not?
Why not just push life?
There are other ways to push life rather than just forcing yourself
You said
to do
content is high leverage, right?
It is, but there are other high leverage things, I believe.
Absolutely. But if whatever you're doing, right, let's say I'm building an agency. If I didn't have these cameras or, my chief of production here, then I feel like my impact would just be diminished, and I don't spend time on content. I would do this with you without the podcast mics, right? That's the beauty of it. But it so happens to be that we're both creators, and we can just make more out of it, because guess what? Others would somehow benefit from listening to this.
There's
very marginal cost to content, apart from financial resources.
But you have a strong reason as to why you want to make content, right?
No.
You can hire better people. All of your hires are from your content.
Yes, but when I started, I didn't have a strong reason. I was just the natural path forward.
Tell me this, when you started all the theme pages, what was it for?
Theme pages was for money, just to do something.
Theme pages was also sort of content, right? At the end of the day.
Not mine.
It was not yours, but the way you were making money was through putting up content on the internet, through those theme pages.
Repurposing or stealing content.
Yeah. So that was content in some format which you were doing.
Yes.
The why was connected to money.
Yes.
So if someone has a why and they have that innate desire to chase that why, sure, make content. But again, if you don't have that why, if you just want to do it because everybody is doing it, Prepare for UPSC, bro. Everybody is doing it. Higher leverage out there. Prepare for ITJ. Get into a good college. Use that tag.
How is, again, if it works, great. If it doesn't, not. But then how is IIT more higher leverage than creating content?
See, once you get into colleges like IITs or NITs,
then your content is made itself.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a life which people aspire to have, like, so people watch you. I feel it's, again, my hypothesis, why people watch vlogs is they want to live the life which you live. If you're living an ordinary life, and if you just don't see, you can debate with me here, bro. Saurav Joshi also has an ordinary life. How is he making it big in terms of content and everything? He has an ordinary life, but he started with his art channel. Again, he had a hobby which he wanted to amplify. So people from there wanted to see his life. Okay, how is he making art? I want to explore that dynamic. But in that dynamic, he was putting his lifestyle as well. That's how people started to get interest. But if you're not doing anything interesting in life, you don't have any sort of hobbies or a lifestyle which people would somewhat learn from or aspire to be like. For example, even in fitness, if you have a jacked body, people would want to see how are you living your life, how you're taking your diet, how you're living your day, what time you're waking up, so that people can take away something from that video. That makes sense from you. Coming back to your question, same for colleges like IITs as well. If you get into there, start making content, all of the people who, like, this thing goes a lot in our niche in YouTube, they start calling you bhaiya or didi, okay, and start looking up to you. There are a lot of things which you can do from content, navigate from there. Use that tag to maybe get to a certain stage. And then if you have some crazy ideas with content, cool. You have brands which can unlock the superpower to do it for you. So that's how you can leverage content, by getting into some place or some stature in life where people would want to be like you. So that's one thing which IIT helps you in terms of content again. But in terms of life, surely, bro, a good college is the way to go if you don't have a purpose clarity.
There's so many ways to be unique.
There is.
One example, like Daniel Dalen. That dude knows fucking Chinese, bro. Right? Imagine an Indian dude just learns Mandarin for 5 years, goes to China, starts documenting his life.
Sure, there are people who do this.
Yeah.
There are people, I forgot the name. I guess his name is Ajay or something. He makes his entire content is around an Indian living in Japan.
I think I've seen one of his reels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, people are.
There's so many ways to be unique, is my point, around
Correct.
content. If you want to build content as a distributor.
But see, his life is interesting again, right? Indian, moved to Japan, lives his life on the bike, travels a lot, but has a job as well on the side. If I'm not wrong, I might be.
Yeah.
But that is what makes him as a personality interesting. When I watch,
there are infinite ways to be interesting.
There
my point.
There are. Figure out, again, it boils down to one thing only.
Surfing pro.
If you are interesting, if you have some hobbies, if you have something which might integrate this curiosity in people, how the fuck is this guy doing it? That's how you gain viewership.
As you got a sick idea for someone wanting to start content, if they have like 5 lakhs in the bank, document your journey of getting your skydiving license.
Might work.
Yeah.
Might work good if you can document it nicely.
Yeah, if you can document it nicely.
For that guy, Daniel, right? The way he documents, bro, crazy. Yeah, even cool. From a creator perspective, from a filmmaker perspective, all of the match cuts which he does, like he'll be working entire day and there's stuck a match cut and the night lights come in. That's something where I learn from as a creator, not as from a business POV or something like that. How I make my videos creative. So if you can get something like that in your skydiving license, something crazy.
It is. Yeah. There's so many, like, you can just embark on a cool journey, start content, and then.
Bro, why I started content was not because I wanted to gain views or make money or something. I started as a video editor to make money. I was charging 200 rupees for a video, for a 1-minute video at that point of time. But I was making content for two purposes. Number one, I told you I studied in St. Thomas Boys and then moved to DPS in class 11-12. Had my first ever proper female interaction where I got really humbled and just isolated myself for the next 2 years.
How was your first female interaction like?
Bro, it was really weird. I still remember.
Tell me about that.
So there was this girl, right, whom I really liked back in 11th. And I told one of my friends, bhai, mere ko na usse baat karna hai, please milwa de ek baar. So every break, we used to just skip our lunch tiffin and we used to go to play football. That was our ritual. That afternoon, I told that boy, his name was Shayan, I told him, bhai, aaj football skip karte please. And he told me, you better talk to her because I'm missing my game for you. And I'm also missing my game for her. So we go. She's there in the first bench.
It's making me nervous.
She's there in the first bench. I tag along with Shayan. He comes in. And so the setup is like this. Here is the classroom, right? Here is the classroom. She's sitting on the first bench. There's the teacher's desk. Shayan comes in, sits on the teacher's desk, starts talking with her. And then he calls out to me, come. Bro, I start walking.
The Fuck Ups podcast is proudly sponsored by IRW, the Indian Institute of Remote Work, a community of young and ambitious Indian entrepreneurs that are exporting their services globally. We have 2 cohorts in a year, in the summer and in the winter, where you can apply to get access to in-person meetups, trips, and classes on starting your freelance journey, whether it's getting your first client or whether it's hiring team members past the 10K a month mark. If you're a young, ambitious Indian, this is the place to be.
Here is the bench. Here is the girl sitting. Here is the window. I just walk past straight from them, start looking outside the window. I didn't talk.
Yeah.
I didn't talk at all. For 20 minutes straight, I just couldn't blabber shit. I couldn't even speak a word. After the break was over, the bell rings and tells me, "Bhai, you wasted my fucking 30 minutes of my break. Neither could I play football, neither did dog."
And what did the girl react like? Did she react? Did she like, "Ye kya kar raha hai?" What happened?
I never looked back at her, bro. But what I remember next, it's very funny. So I followed her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She didn't follow me back. So I unfollowed. Repeated this process 10 times.
She never followed back?
No, not really. During that time. And then 10 days after, one of my friends who used to go in her carpool tells me, "Bro, what the fuck? She's calling you a creep. You apparently followed her 10 times and then unfollowed again." I'm like, "Fuck, bro, I've lost it." But on the last day of school, I went and talked to her. And
last day. It's always last day.
It's
always the fucking last day. You know why? Because it expands until your deadline.
Exactly. So last day was a farewell. She was in the dancing crew or something. And even it was the last minute of the last day. Not even once during the middle.
Yes.
So once when everything was done, I was frantically searching for her. My last shot at it, where she couldn't find her. And then one of my friends told, "There she is." And he pushed me. Ki, "Bhai, ab to baat kar le." So I gaya. Midway again, I stopped. I give myself a small TED talk at that point of time. "Bhai, now you are here in life. If you talk to her, you'll get here. What's the worst which can happen? She'll slap you? Probably not. So even if you don't make a conversation, you'll still be here. At least you're making some sort of progress. So whatever happens, you're making progress. So just go." So I went, talked, exchanged numbers, had a chat, figured out not my type, and life happened.
Figured out not your type. What made you figure that out?
The way we talked, bro, it was not like flowing. And she already had a boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that in itself might, put someone off.
Yeah. So, anyways, it was just a personal side quest. I want to have this conversation with her. So, yeah. I'll come back to what content did for me. We were there. So again, I couldn't talk to people. And secondly, I felt in those 2 years, I grew a lot in terms of academics. I studied a lot of physics, chemistry, maths, and I was always like very confident in whatever questions you throw at me. But if you would throw me a question around history, ask me anything around geopolitics, ask me anything around what's COVID actually doing to the economy at that point of time, I would go blank. I didn't know shit about it. Okay. So I wanted to grow in that aspect of knowing things, being a bit more aroused intellectually. Secondly, increase or rather improve my vocabulary a bit and speaking skills a bit. And thirdly, since I was editing videos, it's always good to edit videos for yourself as a creator so that you get more exposure to the kind of video edits which you can do. And that's why I started making
And then
videos.
you start monetizing the editing part as well, right? Later.
Bro, I made a vlog and I would still say that vlog was, the way it was edited in 2020-21, it was way too good for people. So I just started pitching it in my portfolio. I made a spec commercial for Amazon using just images from Google. And then I started pitching people, I can make these videos for you, for your brand, just by image mockups. So that's how I started leveraging in terms of me making content. Fortunately, a few videos picked up and I just stopped this side of mine and went all in.
How'd you get your first client?
First client, it was through a Discord server from, there were 2 servers which I joined back in time. One was Avalon Meta by Varun Maya and second was Blue Learn by Harish. He's from Anglo, by the way. So I joined these 2 servers. People were just dropping off their requirements and I started hitting up people. I can do this, do that. Still editing on my mobile though. People ask me, do you edit on Premiere? I would say yes, because I didn't want to lose that client. And then I would ask them, I wouldn't be able to send you the project files though. When they agreed, I was like, okay. Because I was editing on my phone, KineMaster. I can't send them Premiere Pro project files.
Yeah.
So that's how I got my first couple of clients.
Great start.
Yeah. Good start.
And then this was, what do you think one of your biggest fuck ups has been? Either if we're talking about content or we're talking about client work, or even if we're talking about the way you went straight past her into the window.
2021, 6th August, my first video got to 1 million. right? I then had the clarity, cool, I don't have college right now. It's online, so it can manage itself. I don't have to bear expenses of my family for some reason, and I am getting to live in this house, getting food 24/7. Let me go all in into content. I did go all in. That's a very good decision. On the hindsight, the biggest fuck up which I made was, bro, I stopped learning.
Learning what?
Learning whatever I was doing in terms of, again, reading newspapers, getting better at what I was doing. Entire to 2020 and 2021 till 6th August, my motto was learn things, apply those in videos, and then keep documenting it. Once I knew my videos had started working, I doubled down on the quantity of videos which I was making, and halved, or rather what, even eventually stopped learning anything related to how I can make my videos better in terms of editing, you might say, in terms of the depth in content, you might say.
Are you learning now?
I am. Very mindfully I'm learning now.
How?
Just consuming better content again, started reading newspapers. Then if I want to make better content and want people to be associated with my brand name and be like, आकाश की वीडियो आइए देखना है, I feel I have to personally progress in life so that लोगों को interest है कि भाई बंदा कुछ कर रहा है तो इसकी वीडियो देखनी है. I didn't really do anything, rather didn't chase new experiences at that point of time. So that is one major fuck up which I did, which eventually hit me when I started making my number of videos less, because I realized I don't have enough value to provide to people. It's just me who can record videos, edit in a nice manner, craft a good story and present it. Surely it works, bro. You can bluff people through that. But internally as a creator, मेरे को पता है ना उसमें value नहीं है. So I just stopped creating content for a month or so when I went back to college. And then जब नए experiences आए, नए perspectives आए, then I had something cool to talk about. Saksham says it a lot and I've picked it up from him. Do cool shit behind the camera and talk about it later. So I totally believe in this perspective of his.
Interesting. I think that is subconsciously perhaps.
Yeah.
What I've been doing is I just try to do more stuff like quickly so that I never run out of things to talk about or content is just continuously created because I'm just moving faster.
Yeah.
Right. If I just do more constantly, content actually has to catch up to my life. It's not the other way around.
It has happened with me, bro. After my college ended and I went to Kolkata, I had just one thing. I want to launch this video editing and storytelling cohort, scale it to whatever XX number I can, and then maybe get back to content or something. So I had only one core experience at that point of time, not really others. And if I keep talking about how I'm building this, how I'm building that, eventually that comes out as a course seller, right? But I didn't want that perspective of mine. Surely I believe in the product, by the way. But I didn't want my entire brand name to be associated to that on YouTube. Because I told you, I want to make travel videos and everything.
Makes sense.
So I just don't want to make videos about how I'm building this for one straight year and then randomly drop a travel video. So I didn't have much to talk about. Didn't have much experiences which I could share. So content did catch up with my life till an extent where I was like, fuck, kya banau ab?
What do you think of me?
A few general perspective.
Content wise. So example, you don't want to be perceived as a
course seller, yeah. I don't see you as a course seller, bro. As I told you yesterday itself.
But why? The Fuck Ups podcast is proudly sponsored by IRW, the Indian Institute of Remote Work, a community of young and ambitious Indian entrepreneurs that are exporting their services globally. We have 2 cohorts in a year, in the summer and in the winter, where you can apply to get access to in-person meetups, trips, and classes on starting your freelance journey, whether it's getting your first client or whether it's hiring team members past the 10K a month mark. If you're a young, ambitious Indian, this is the place to be.
You do talk about it. You do talk about it. You have that
I talk about it openly.
You talk about it, but it doesn't come out in that way because I told you something yesterday when we talked about this as well, that when I first looked at your content, I saw that it has a lot of depth to it, right? And you were about 18 or 19 when I first discovered you, 19 I guess. And when I saw your videos, it was inspiring for me. How is this guy pulling off so many things at 19? The way he articulates, it's so fucking beautiful. I couldn't do when I was at 19. So all of that got me interested in your videos. And then when you launched IRW, it was in a massive scale. When you started all the promotions, I get you ran ads or something, right? It came in my feed once.
Only retargeted ads.
Might be. So it came. And again, there's a perspective which I had, which you humbled me.
You have to be honest while selling. Bro, I'm doing a favor. You better fucking see my ads.
Yeah.
You better like it.
I love the way.
I'm not telling this to you like you better like it. I'm just saying open about it. I'm like, fucking challenge me on it, right?
But your content didn't come up as if you were selling something, because it's not in every video of yours, right?
Not every video, but when it's open, I'm gonna sell.
Yeah, like in this conversation, there's a way you could mold it in such a way that IIW naturally pops up.
Yeah.
Or we mold it in such a way, naturally it popped up. So you get to talk about it. But in your general content, I don't think you put it a lot of times, like forcibly.
It's a way of life.
Exactly. You know you're doing it, you have to do it. But there are other things as well in your life which you're doing. For example, inviting these kind of guests. Secondly, setting up a founder's house in Bangalore. Thirdly, getting to 83. So you have a lot of things which you do. And IRW is one of them.
But I would say, yes, I'm a course seller in a way.
You are, if you want to make your identity call you like that. Yeah.
And I'm proud.
You see, you're doing that. You're proud of the product. You believe in the product. Then yeah, surely, why not? But my point is...
Stigma, I had this stigma, which is why, right? Like when creators come to monetize, either they monetize too late, now they have 1 million followers and they think their product or whatever they will sell, right, is going to be, what do you call it? Imagine they have quality, for measuring quality with the number of followers. Let's say they have a quality of 1 million followers. Their product has a quality of 100 followers because they just had their first iteration on it. Whereas if they started early, the quality would be like, yeah, okay, this guy is not that famous, so he's not that big. So yeah, he's starting. And then both need to go up together. Your product is not going to be perfect in the first time. IW's first cohort was not perfect. We learned so many things.
Tell me something about it.
We learned that, look, we were teaching. Now again, this is like promotion, right? But this is literally natural. First, what happened was, the biggest realization is, we tried to combine almost like two different
skill sets, worlds.
Two different worlds. So there's a completely different world to go from 0 to 1. 0 to your first client or 0 to your first $1,000. That in itself is a totally different experience to if you're going from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And we try to teach both under one cohort.
Got it.
And the people were also divided. Some people are making 20 grand a month, like more than 5 people in IW. And then there are, like 40 people who are at 0. And we try to cater to both markets to basically get as many, applications as possible. Next time, we literally divide it into.
Got it.
So the next cohort is going to be like here.
When are you launching it?
Maybe August or September. And we want to do 2 a year, like YC, summer batch, winter batch. Be all exclusive. Yeah.
Got it. Fair enough.
What did you learn from your cohort, editing cohort?
I would say the same thing which you said. Because in editing, a lot of people know how to use a software and all. So they're not at 0. They're at maybe 20, 30. For editors, if they're getting into any cohort or something, trust me, you won't benefit from any cohort in India unless you're seeking a community. Because skills you can learn from YouTube itself. For IRW, what is the biggest selling point which people wouldn't be able to learn from free resources on the internet?
I think you can learn anything from free resources, but maybe curation of that information or perhaps accountability in a way, because we ran all the sessions live, right? So it's like, well, you have to fucking join.
Yeah.
If you want to learn, you join, you sit through this, you watch it. A big part of courses that are pre-recorded are like, I'm not going to watch it. I'll probably get bored.
Yeah, I'll just try and keep it.
Yeah, 10% of people will ever complete it. So if you're running it live, now or never, right? Use it or lose it. So, in a way, that was one thing. And the second big thing, again, community for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when we did all in real life meetups. People were like, bruv, this was worth more than 29 grand in this one meetup. Because they... connections as well.
There must be people in Bangalore whom you might have connected through IRW and they are working together.
I've met them outside the meetup as well, and work out sometimes, etc. And it's just been... How do you find these people otherwise is the question.
Exactly.
And if I wasn't to price it, next time it's going to be more expensive. It's going to be divided into. But the more expensive it is, the better the people.
Absolutely.
Which is beautiful in a way.
Correct. So again, coming back to what I learned, this was the biggest thing. Again, I can't segregate people in that manner. So either it's an info product completely where you learn, or I'm selling a community first product where you can meet with like-minded people, get to better projects, or connect with new people who are at the same skill set or whom you can work with potentially, or even hire from the same community and scale up.
That's very well put, Akash. Yeah. Because there are people in IW who just bought it for the community. They didn't give a fuck about the info.
You paying for the community, bro.
I thought people are paying for a bit of both. But I realized there are people who are just paying for the info and people who are just paying for the community.
Right. So I would say that was the biggest mistake, not mistake, but lesson which I learned, that if you are putting up something, for example, it's editing related for me, so I'll talk in those technical terms. People know what Premiere Pro does. People know how to make cuts. People know how to make transitions. But if you want to be a great fucking editor, you need to focus on one thing, which is finessing a video. Because people miss out on that. They don't like.
What does that mean?
Bro, the cuts are not just cuts. Every cut should have a motive behind it. If you're doing an L cut or a J cut, understand why you're doing it. If you're spending 15 minutes on the SFX, fucking spend 1 hour on the SFX, because that elevates the video to next level. That's how you finish an entire video. For example, you're wearing the shirt, right? You fitted it to the way your biceps are, the way your fitting is. If it would just have been a random shirt which you bought from XYZ brand, would it fit you, tailor you that nice?
No, but to be honest, just for context, I became more jacked. That's why it's not fitting me very well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's definitely loser. I just became more jacked.
Yeah, but it looks good when it's tailored the way you want.
Yes.
Similar with videos, it just feels better when it's finished properly. If it's just unfinished in a way, the cuts are not smooth, the transition are not smooth, the video doesn't feel like it's flowing. It feels very abrupt.
What do you think editors miss the most? Like, the number one thing that editors suck at nowadays, or the one improvement they could make that would really make a difference?
I think they use the flash sound effect a lot, bro.
The flash one?
Yeah, the camera shutter one. Stop fucking using that. That's one thing.
Cheap ones?
Sorry?
The cheap ones.
Yeah, the cheap ones directly, which I've downloaded from YouTube or heard in some every random video. But yeah, on the hindsight, I would still start on finishing again. If you can improve the storytelling part of the video through any manner, through just by selecting better music for that reason, or finishing the video in such a manner it flows, I would again come back to
Would you recommend people to learn editing now?
Not just editing.
If there's someone no skills, would you recommend editing to them still?
See, if you have been into any form of art since your childhood, you probably have a better knack of understanding. You'll be able to grip it fast. That's what I have learned from the people around me who have made it big in the editing circle. People who have been into music, right? As I told you, I wanted to learn music. I learned guitar for 2 to 3 years. I have learned Robindra Songit. I'm a Bengali for 2 to 3 years straight. So I have an understanding of music, how pitches are, how scales are, how music evokes emotion within you. So when I was editing, naturally, I was at level 10 when I started out in terms of music selection. So that helped me incrementally. So if you have done some art form before, surely you can start with editing, but just don't stop while learning editing. Start stacking your skills in such a way that you can not just charge 400 or 500 for a reel, because that's where people start from. Know how to write good copies in emails, know how to reach out to better people, know how to back better projects, know how to communicate properly, become an editor who can communicate seamlessly. अगर मेरे को late होगा edit deliver करने में, तो मैं उसको properly communicate कर रहा हूँ. Do skill stacking, learn editing, and then build up on top of that. So that's how you can progress with any skill set for that reason.
Makes sense.
But again, I have experience in this forte, so I can talk about that. Surely it's a good skill to go, but if you want to make it big as an editor, find out people like Subah who can pay grands, or maybe find out better people in India.
I'm broke.
Cool, you're not. 77.
I would say we gotta export services. That's been the philosophy behind IW, right? We're teaching people how to export the services. We have the talent. We don't have the packaging and communication. We're trying to solve for number 2.
Packaging and communication.
In a way, because that's why we didn't name it Indian Institute of Editing or anything like that. It was of remote work. Because there are different talents. And we're trying to focus on the number 2, which is exporting them.
Do you have any plans in the future to like branch it out into different sectors and for different talents, or just want to keep it very cohesive for the set of people who want to work remotely and export services?
I think remote work also covers remote jobs.
It does?
Yeah. So I do still want the philosophies to export services. I am not trying to teach. Obviously, the principles can be applied to within India as well, right? You can apply the same things I'm teaching you to get more sales in India, but in particular, I want to help people
make $1 than a rupee.
Yes, it's easier to earn $1 than a rupee, because that is what I have personally experienced. That is my story. I've never really earned a rupee. So it just happened. So I think that's something that's unique to me. Maybe I can help people on that. It's been the entire philosophy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. Any final words, advices?
Whom are we talking to?
Your best friend.
I've given this advice to my best friend once. hasn't taken it seriously, and he never will, I know. Because he's very serious about his work. But you might not take it as well, but take breaks, bro.
I'm not taking that one.
Take breaks as much as possible.
Sprint.
Do sprint, but you're not running a marathon. When you're sprinting, you can't sprint.
What is a break?
Whatever energizes you again.
What if work energizes you?
Keep doing work. That's break for you. Good.
Okay, it's not. I traveling maybe.
Yeah, but what you hate traveling, you said.
No, what do you mean? Oh, traveling in the sense exploring new places I still like. But my recent thing has been like, I don't want to travel, I want to live. So I'd rather go to one place, live there for 3 months, and that is how you really get to know a place. It's not through traveling. Assume if I go to Vietnam for 2 weeks, if I go to every single place, I don't know Vietnam. I've seen it, but I haven't lived it. So, in example, next month I will be staying in one city only. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm staying in one city for a month.
Got it. So you're giving a break to the routine you have lived in Bangalore.
In a way. Yeah. And another interesting thing is that by living in, it's a mindset shift actually, because a lot of people think they have, here I'm actually super contradictory, I'm realizing, but a lot of people think they have they don't have time when they're traveling because, oh shit, I have limited days in this country, right? It's like a bit of...
I feel that way, by the way.
Yeah, like if you go to a new place, you're like, shit, I only have 5 days here. Okay, well, I'll stay in one place, like really learn one place for those 2 weeks. Because I know I can just come back. That second part, I think people miss.
They don't have the liability to do that, bro.
Yeah, they feel like, I don't know when I'll be here again. I'll just be like, I will be here when I want again.
Correct.
You know.
For example, like when we visited Europe with my parents and all, bro, we covered almost all the important places in a span of 18 days. Every day we were hopping into different countries.
Exactly.
So we never really experienced one country. So as I said, when I take my parents to the US, probably I want them to, cool, you like this place?
Spend 18 days in one place, bro, and then go back again.
You love this place, stay here for the next 5 days, 7 days. You get bored of it, cool, we'll fly to the next place.
Yeah.
That's how I want it to be. So one thing I would say, take breaks as much as possible, but be aware about you're taking a break for your own mental energizing and not for just fucking like, I want to take a break. Second thing is, this I'm not talking to my best friend, this I'm talking to my old younger self. I'll bring back how we started the podcast. If your identity is around smart, let go of that. If you have cracked any good exam, let go of that. If you haven't been able to crack any good exams or academically strong, let go of that identity. You said move forward, move ahead. I'll say fail forward as much as possible. Keep failing, keep doing random shit, random experiments in life which probably wouldn't make sense to anybody, but you get like... तुमने वो जर्नल्स लिखे थे अपने कॉलेज स्कूल में? एक्सपेरिमेंट्स, ऑब्जर्वेशन, एक्सपेरिमेंट्स, इन्फरेंस लास्ट में होता था, येलो कलर गैस, इट माइट बी अमोनिया, ऑल ऑफ दोस लैब एक्सपेरिमेंट्स ब्रो वी यूज्ड टू हैव. सो हम जो लास्ट में इन्फरेंस लिखते थे, इट्स अ येलो कलर गैस, माइट बी अमोनिया. मेक अ फकिंग टेबल ऑफ एक्सपीरियंसेस, एक्सपेरिमेंट्स फ्रॉम योर लाइफ. एक्सपेरिमेंट नंबर 1, did this, observation, this happened, inference, jack shit, wouldn't do it never again. Go through this way, and maybe all of the side quests or main quests which you have formed from your childhood experiences, looking to people on the internet, or even if there was someone whom you look up to in your real life, try to do all of this experience, get good inferences, and keep moving forward, keep failing forward. That's all I would have to say, I guess.
Well said, Akash. You're definitely a smart guy.
I don't think so. This is probably my last podcast for this year.
No. I'm sure you.
I'll have new experiences and then maybe come back.